Did it make you accept the recording?
It didn't make me accept it. It just told me about it. It just warned me.
Just warned you? Okay.
Yep.
So
It's a
just
banner across my top here.
okay. So this is so welcome everybody to the first midweek howl done on our new platform um, that we're trying out, the Zoom platform. Um, we went away from the Skype because I can't figure out how to get it redone on my like reloaded on my computer. So, so there you go. And I would tell everybody this is the non-paranormal part of the From the Shadows podcast, but I am actually going to tell some paranormal stuff.
There you go. See?
Yeah,
Perfect.
yeah. So we're gonna cover everything. So a lot of things have happened since the last new episode we've done. Um, First and foremost, your Kansas City Chiefs lost in the Super Bowl. How did your wife take that?
I would say, do I?
How'd your wife take that? Because I know she's a
She
huge
loved
football
it. She
fan.
celebrated. She's still celebrating.
She doesn't like the Chiefs?
No, she's Vikings. Way to go. Yeah,
Ah,
no, my gosh.
well, I
My
figured
family
she
had a
was it's a
no.
regional
I
kind
shouldn't
of.
even say that, but no, they were praying. They've been praying for my homie to go down all I keep telling her not to. He's building a big house over the hill here, so I was
Oh, he is?
yeah on the lake. Yeah, they say his big one's on the point. I didn't. I mean, you never know. People tell the truth or not, but
So how's the rest of the like is it a somber mood in Missouri there or not?
well, you know what's funny? I was telling somebody. I told my wife and son this. There's a gal that works in my office, and every day she's got some football paraphernalia on, and it's either the Kansas City Chiefs or the high school that I went to.
Yeah, okay.
And Monday, so Friday the place was absolutely full of Chiefs stuff, right? And
Hmm.
Monday there was the only Chiefs wear I seen on Monday was the kid that sat next to me in the barber chair that had Down syndrome. He was the only person I seen rocking Chiefs stuff on Monday.
And that's because he's not a fair weather fan. He's
That's right.
true
He's in it. That's exactly right. So,
he's true
so I
blue,
lost
man.
all respect for these people in my office that tout all that stuff because that just tells me. And I was telling my son when I was growing up, I didn't know anybody that had Kansas City Chiefs stuff. I didn't know a single person.
No, I
That's why,
think I think it was a couple episodes ago where we were talking about the roster and barely anybody knew.
right? And just like where I went to high school, when I was the high school I went to, and I lived basically in my hometown until I was 30 years old. Almost. Well, I moved out for a couple of years, but I was within 50 miles. I didn't know a single person. I didn't know where you could even get a
Kansas
Blair
City.
Oaks. That's where I went to Blair Oaks High School T-shirt. The only paraphernalia you had was the jerseys that they gave to you after the season or something. And now it's like because they won 7 state championships in 15 years or 8, 10, 12 years or whatever. Now it's the place to be. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, yeah, okay. And it's a high
And
school, and it's a high school, so
it's a high school.
so they're
It's a high
selling
school.
merch. They got a
Like
great
yeah,
merch.
like
They sell more merch than us. That's what you're telling me.
probably I don't know. I told my kids the other day because I have two people that want to come on and be guests and they were making fun of me upstairs. My wife was making fun of me. I said, we apparently have a merch store somewhere, so I couldn't find it. So I don't know. Do we even have merch? I don't know.
Well, yeah, you got to go to our website, the From the Shadows podcast website.
Oh, see, I was trying to find it on Facebook the other day.
Oh no, it's not on Facebook. No, 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 no.
You see
It's
what I know? That now, hey, now the people will really know the behind the scenes that I don't run anything, right? I'm just here.
you're just
I'm
a
just,
talent. You're
I'm
just
just telling. That's what
hey.
I almost said. Yes.
We'll wait till you go upstairs, bring up the website, go to the store, and they can see that they can get anything from a T-shirt to a coffee mug to a pair of tennis shoes that has Ozark Howler on it. How about that? You can even get like last time I looked, you can get white low top tennis shoes with From the Shadows on them or Ozark Howler, anything that we have.
I'm going to
And
put them on, get a pair and put them on a rack next to my Trump tennis shoes, Trump
oh
shoes.
God, oh God. Okay. All right. All right. All right. Are you gonna buy that with your Trump coin? Because I
Maybe I might, unless Elon, unless he goes the way of the penny where they don't have it anymore.
you better buy it quick now because I heard that Trump coin is going right down the tubes.
I don't understand the killing the penny. I mean, I kind of
I
understand it,
saw
but
where it cost 4 cents to make a penny.
it doesn't matter. They'll last 50 years.
Well, then why do they need to make any more, right?
Well, I think first of all, they took all the real copper ones. That's the reason why I keep recycling. They keep stealing the real copper ones, and that one you got's like an aluminum one with a copper wash on it.
Yeah, 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 yeah. It's not even.
So right,
I can't
so I
believe it's
think that's
even worth the penny, let alone when you tell me. So it's, you know what I'm saying? Like,
my
when's the
point
last time you
is
used change, though? Let's be
I
real.
use it every day. I
Oh,
got
do
change in
you?
my pocket,
Do you? Okay. Georgia satellites. Got change in my
whatever.
pocket.
Yeah,
Going to. I actually went through Dunkin' Donuts the other day, and actually had cash. I don't normally have cash, but Christy had gotten cash.
you're one of
Um,
them guys.
well, we just don't do anything.
Anyway, go ahead. No,
Yeah, no,
sorry, go ahead.
one of those guys. Yeah, I don't have any cash. You caught me. But no, we needed cash to get into a high school basketball game, and then somebody let us in the back door. So we didn't even have to pay. And so I actually had some cash on me when I went to get a coffee. And
That almost sounds like a confession right here on air.
well, maybe, Father, forgive me for I have sinned and cost Colonel Crawford High School $7. But I've given them way more than that over the years, just from blood, sweat, and tears. Anyway, but I I'm like it was I don't know 38 cents, and I'm like I wonder if I even have any change in my little cup holder there. And I had just enough. And I mean, I handed it to the girl and she acted like I was handing her a live rattlesnake. Like, what are you talking?
Because
What
how
are you
much
doing?
was it? Just a couple bucks?
It was like six, whatever I got. I got an iced tea and a coffee for six, it was 6.38 or something. And so I gave him 6.40 and she looked at me like, or no, I actually gave her 6.38, gave her correct change. And
I
when
think
I
that's what's killing the penny.
is not using it or
People
giving.
can't process that, so they round up or down. The kids nowadays.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Look, I mean, I got to be honest, it was a long time. It's been quite a while since I probably used actual money, actually cash. I just don't have I have to go get money to be able to use the money. Does that make sense? I mean, uh, if everybody takes my cash and check card, then why have money, you know? So, yeah, I very seldom have actual cash. Anybody that's trying to rob me, just go to the next guy because I don't really have any cash. So, but but back to the Super Bowl. So we talked. My wife had back surgery, ended up
Yep.
going back into the hospital this weekend
Yep.
again, and so Sunday I'd been up since 2:30 in the morning. I'm down at the hospital and I'm going to head back home. But I was watching till halftime. Okay. And so when halftime came, I got in the car and drove back. I knew that the halftime was going to be Kendrick Lamar. I'm not a huge Kendrick Lamar fan, whatever. But what I found funny was that everybody on Facebook felt the need to get on Facebook and tell, at least around here, how much they hated the halftime show and how much they didn't even know who Kendrick Lamar was. And it, a friend of mine made this post and said something about it, and two people got on and answered or commented. These people were people in their 70s, okay, and they said, "Don't they understand who the target audience is?" And so I texted my buddy and I said, I go on that post, I said, "Do you want to let them in on the fact that being in their mid 70s, they're not in the target audience anymore? Like, we're barely in the target audience in our mid 50s." So I thought that was funny that those people were not self-aware enough to know that number one, they weren't the people that
Well, they are
advertisers are.
more of the businesses that make money, they're the target audience, right? Because they have
Yeah.
money.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
The 19 to 30, 25-year-olds or whatever don't have any money.
Yeah,
So
but yeah,
that's
but
kind of a
when I see the stats for the podcast and the advertisers and stuff like that,
mhm.
the biggest demographics stop. I mean, I don't say that means that there's nobody beyond these ages, but the most important demographics are usually between like 30 and 55. That's the people with the most, what you'd call disposable income that these advertisers are aiming at. Now, you and I both know that the older people, they're the ones with all the money, but they're not spending it on stuff. If they hadn't spent it up till now, they're probably not spending it on what these advertisers are are selling. I don't think, you know. But it was just funny because my pastor was one of the guys who made that comment, and he happened to come down to the hospital yesterday and sat in the room with us for a little bit, and I kind of yanked his chain a little bit about it. And I said, you do realize that you making these comments about the current musical acts on the Super Bowl are similar to you and your age, you know, your parents talking about the Rolling Stones or the Beatles or whoever and demonizing them, right? And saying who
well,
are
and I think go ahead.
yeah, and I'm just like and it kind of clicked with him. I'm like, so congratulations on becoming your parents. You know, like it's every generation doesn't understand what the younger people are watching or listening to or reading.
Well, I
And
think no, I think that's now where I did digress a little bit is I think the people now realize that how that degraded America, so they're trying to stop it, where their parents did not realize what would happen because there was nobody before the Rollings, you know what I mean? That
you,
before the 50s, there was no, you know what I mean?
that's not true. That's not
Steve,
true. Because when Elvis came along, everybody
I said the
thought he,
50s. Hold on a second. I said the
okay,
50s. Hold on. And they didn't really degrade, certainly, let's just say before Elvis, previous Elvis, what musician degraded not the Steve Miller band? What was the other Miller? What was the Miller?
Glenn Miller.
Glenn Miller. I mean, Glenn Miller Lawrence Welk did not degrade the country.
I know, but every generation, the next generation after them, their music, their entertainment, their whatever clothing taste change. And the older generation, it doesn't matter what it changes to. If it changed from Charlie Chaplin to the Three Stooges, the people who are Charlie Chaplin fans couldn't believe the people would actually love the Three Stooges. They're a bunch of idiots. My grandma hated the Three Stooges because she goes, they're just a bunch of idiots that slap and hit everybody. And that's because she liked the people before the Three
Who was
Stooges.
before the Three Stooges?
Like I'm saying, like Charlie Chaplin and oh gosh, what's his name? The
They weren't even
guy
in talkies.
but that's what I'm saying is
Tom Horn,
no,
Tom
no, no.
Mix, Tom Mix.
Who's the guy, the silent film star that hung from the clock? What is that? Oh gosh, what is his name? That's
Before my
terrible.
time.
I know. See, and our demographic doesn't reach doesn't reach back then. But it just changes as like I mean when I grew up I liked Run DMC. I liked LL Cool J. I
What's
liked
not to like?
exactly. But now the guys today, like some of these knuckleheads, I can't stand. Okay. But it doesn't mean that they're not good and not talented. It just means that it's not what I grew up on and I like, you know. So I just find it funny that people they're not self-aware enough to know that can't think back to when their parent because my dad didn't. I'd been like, what are you listening to that stuff for? You know, like that's noise. And you know, so then you turn around, you do it to your kids and you do it to your grandkids is, you know, because it's not what you grow up. It doesn't make it better or worse. But man, people will go down fighting and swinging, you know, and that's the best thing about the First Amendment, I guess, is the right to free speech. But I guess you should exercise your right to keep your speech to yourself sometimes. That's the way I look at it. Just because you got the right to speak it, like, come on, gets gets a little old ragging on everybody. But hey, what's Facebook for, right? To
I don't
wake.
know. I try not to comment. I'm on Twitter more than anything, and I've been turning it down off lately because it just bothers me. Because you're right. So everybody knows everything, right? Just like the night when the helicopter crashed.
Oh
Cue up the
gosh.
aviation experts, right? And then
Hmm.
it's cue up the FBI experts this week, or cue up the national security experts. Everybody
Hmm.
knows everything. Cue up
Everybody,
the all the legal experts.
everybody talks before they know everything. Everything is a conspiracy, which we always love a good conspiracy, but it's just like, holy
They keep
smokes.
coming true, so we can't even be conspiracy people anymore.
Oh gosh.
I'm waiting for Bigfoot to pop out now.
He's coming close. He's coming close. So I'm gonna tell you the paranormal part. So we're in this
Tell me.
hospital. We're in this hospital and so I go and I need to use the restroom. Okay. So you got this nurse's station in the middle, the hallway that Christie's in. There's a hallway that extends on the other side of the nurse's station. And then there's one that heads like if I'm walking down to the right. Okay. There's three hallways that can meet in this nurse's station. So the nurse goes, go down this one hallway and around the corner, there's a bathroom you can use. And this is in New Albany, Ohio. It's a very business, it's basically Columbus. And I'm walking down this hallway, and was it Thursday? Yeah, it was Thursday and Friday. It was, yeah, Thursday and Friday a, a couple weeks ago. And there's not a single, like, I'm walked past 30 rooms. There's not a single person in any one of these rooms. There's not a nurse in the hallway. There's not an orderly.
On
There's
the
not
same floor or
the
the floor up?
same. I'm in the same floor.
Yeah.
Okay. Like
And it's just empty.
it's the eeriest thing.
There's
There's
a lot of hospitals like that. They overbuild them so they got plenty of room to expand.
okay. Well, so I walk down there, and when you get to the end where you take a left, there's another hallway of rooms, and the lights aren't even on. And there's a little nurse's desk there, and I'm just kind of standing there, and I'm like, this is weird. Something doesn't feel right. So I use the bathroom and I come back out and I just walk up to the nurse's station. I go, all right, what is what's the ghost situation here? And they kind of look at me and I said, um, what's the deal? And they all look up. There's four nurses and they all look up and they go, down that hallway is supposedly haunted. And I'm like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? So then they proceed to tell me that the night, like somebody had actually recorded at some point a person yelling for help when there's nobody there. And the security guy, the security guard on the night will often walk through those hallways, come back to the nurse's station and say, I saw somebody in room 350 or 258. And they're like, that's impossible. There's nobody in there. And he goes, I know there's nobody in there. But they would walk by the room and somebody would be sitting in the chair or they'd see somebody in the bed. And it happens, I guess, quite frequently to the point where now Monday, that whole hallway was full of people. And I had to ask myself, like, am I really seeing people here or am I seeing a bunch of
You
ghosts?
mean they weren't there the night before, but they were the next day?
There was nobody there on Sunday night. Okay. So I'm talking like the week before on Thursday, Friday, there was nobody there. Sunday night, nobody there again. Okay. Um, but then Monday morning, boom, the whole hallway was full. It was crazy. And I'm like, is, wait a second. Are these real people? Are these like, it's so one of the ladies admitted to me, she said that a couple different times, you're going in there and somebody's at the end of their at the end of their life. Okay. and they're talking to somebody else that's right there. And she goes, enough times, when that happens, that they're not going to be around long. And she said one lady, in fact, coded, right? That's the correct term, coded, died, but they brought her back. And when they brought her back, she sat up and started swinging and cussing and swearing at them and said, I was almost to the light. Why did you guys bring me back? And the lady's like, it's this the eeriest thing because that they're experiencing something like what are they experiencing? And I said, well, think about it. If you're in enough pain and misery to be here in the hospital and to the point where you coded and you're thinking, oh my God, I'm almost to heaven or whatever the light is, and then you get brought back, oh my gosh, that'd be terrible. You'd be like, oh, I'm almost home free. And so it was
Christy's not listening to this tonight.
she she heard me when I came back. I told her the stories, and then a couple of the nurses like, "Why are you asking?" I said, I got a podcast that we talk about that stuff. So they might even be checking. They might even be checking it out. But um, yeah, it was kind of creepy, man. I'm gonna be honest. So like I was like, do I really want to go to the bathroom here? Do I just want to go down to the lobby and use the one down there? Because I'm like, if I get in this bathroom and get locked in this bathroom, because this is one of those like single ones, I'm like, nobody's gonna know I'm in
It
here.
should have a little pull cord to sound an alarm or something, didn't it?
I don't know. I didn't think that far ahead, man. I didn't think that far ahead. So yeah, it was kind of spooky. It's kind of spooky, man. But what was really funny is that Christy's mom spent the night with her on Sunday. And Christy's mom does not watch football, does not watch, could care less. But she said that her and her mom sat there and they started feeling bad for Patrick Mahomes, and we're just like hoping they would score just so they didn't lose too bad. Like they started feeling bad, sorry for him. And I'm like, boy, I'm not sure anybody felt sorry for him.
You know, Philadelphia is just a rough place, right? The city's rough, the people
Oh,
are rough. So if you
well,
got
yeah, yeah.
plus, I think, I was reading about what's his name. See, my wife thinks that quarterback for Philadelphia is a nice guy.
Jalen Hurts.
Yeah. And then I read today, what his apartment costs that he lives?
Isn't he like one that lives really frugally?
He's living in the same $2,000 a month apartment he rented when he first got there 3 years ago or whatever.
And $2,000, like where I'm from, that's a lot of money. But to probably live in Philadelphia, that's cheap, I'm guessing.
And he said because he's not there that much, he's at the facility a lot, and then he spends the off season in his mother's house down in Houston, that he just doesn't see wasting a bunch of money on a house. And he's
Yeah.
got the Lord on his side. See, so he's a big churchy, and he's got the so how is Mahomes? You know what I mean? When you are touched by the Lord, how can you compete against that? I mean, even the refs didn't even help him. Hey, but did you see the Philadelphia woman with the voodoo stuff?
No. What
Somebody
was
posted something today. She had some voodoo stuff up there, and she's sitting behind some Chiefs fans, and she's doing this bones and voodoo stuff, putting a hex on them. She's putting the hex every time. I guess every time the Chiefs got the ball, she'd put a hex on
like during the game
them.
in the Super Bowl?
And it was like taken from a camera phone, the dudes behind her, and they were trying to do it without letting her see that they were filming her. You know what I mean? So they couldn't do a very good job of seeing the whole thing. But yeah, she was sitting there putting the voodoo thing on them. So
Now,
yeah,
these
she should have had. Too bad she didn't have a what's the little doll they have? With like a pin cushion and be poking him and stuff. You know what I'm talking about? What is it called? It's
Oh
called
my
something.
God.
What are those little?
Oh my God.
What are they called?
Oh, you said it too fast. It's called a oh geez.
It's not a voodoo doll. It's
No, no, no. It's
I'm gonna Google it right here with my
oh, for
phone.
God's sakes, I'm gonna be so mad. Yeah, because they get the dolls that look like the people.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We
And
should have. You know
they
what? We should have. Hey, we should have made about 10,000 of them on the website before the game and sold them.
Of Patrick Mahomes.
Patrick Mahomes voodoo doll. That's what it's called, voodoo
Oh, it's
doll.
called a voodoo
Could have
doll.
had
Like,
little.
oh my God, how
We
do
could have
we?
had little Chiefs voodoo dolls and sold them with Trump hats, and people could poke
Oh
them.
God, oh God.
People could poke them,
Well,
break a leg or something. You know?
well, do you suppose that since it was in New Orleans, that nobody, like the regular like security guards, are like, it happens all the time here at
Yeah, I'm
Saints games.
sure. Yeah, because you don't want them to put a hex on you, so you just wave them through.
Yeah, go ahead. You got some chicken bones. You got some of
Yeah,
your mom's ashes. You got some
yeah.
plantains. I
Why
don't even
not?
know what goes into a good voodoo mix,
I
but
don't know. Well,
goat's blood. Yeah, you suppose you got goat's blood in that or something?
yeah,
I don't.
cocaine, I guess. I don't know.
Okay. Oh my gosh. Uh, yeah, that was Philadelphia looked really, really good. I mean, they had a great, their defense played really,
Yeah,
really good. I just have never loved Kansas City's offense this whole year. You know, they're on TV a lot because they're one of the most popular teams. I just never thought they had like any downfield threats, or they
I feel
didn't.
sorry for Travis Kelsey.
I do too. I do too because he I think they
Probably gonna be his
need
last season. Probably gonna be his last game.
maybe unless he comes to the
And
Browns, unless he comes to the Browns.
you know,
He's played a long time. He's played a long time though and won three Super Bowls. You know, I mean, you can't feel too bad for him, but it was kind of it's kind of weird, you know, having Tom Brady in the booth calling the game and talking about all this. You know, he even said, he goes, I played in 10 Super Bowls and I think more about the three that I lost more than the seven I won. And
well, I could see that. Just like girls, right? Super Bowls are like girls. I think about the ones I lost.
instead of the ones that you won. Okay. All
You
right.
know,
Um, but they said the what did they have? Like an NFL honors on that Friday or something. And they said the dude that had the biggest, I'm gonna use slang. I'm gonna use slang, the biggest flex of the night was Bill Belichick because he showed up with all eight Super Bowl rings on his hands.
and the 25-year-old girlfriend.
The 25. Yeah, there you go. There you go. They said he was kind of putting it in the face of everybody who didn't give him an interview for a head coaching job. Like, here you go. I don't need you. I got my eight
I would
Super
say
Bowl.
part of that's got to do with he would be a hard person to manage, right? He's not going to go down to the Cowboys because Jerry,
Oh yeah, that'd be
he's
bad.
not going to listen to me,
Yeah,
right?
that'd be bad. Yeah.
Managers, well, I
Oh,
don't have a cough button yet
blush.
in the new thing, and because the managers, upper level managers, they always want somebody that's going to do what they're told and not think for themselves. So I would say that he's in a bad spot if he's going to try to keep working.
Well, isn't that funny though? They want to hire somebody that'll do what they say, but then that guy's the first guy they turn around and fire when they do what they say and they don't succeed. You know what I'm saying?
That's the whole point of having them there. They're like kids, so you can blame them for something.
Kids and dogs. So
Hmm.
so before we end here, I was told something today that I by one of my younger buddies who I write with, Mr. Mike Callie. He said, "Hey," he goes, "I read something about the name Ohio." I'm like, what are you talking about?" And he goes, so he sent me this thing. He goes, "I want you to read this and tell me your thoughts." So I told him I would read it to you and see what you thought. So it said, "The name Ohio has become the latest catchphrase among Gen Z and Gen Alpha, who I've never even heard of. But this isn't a nod to the state's rock and roll history or even its chili with a cinnamon twist. Said Ohio has been repurposed as a synonym for anything weird or absurd, and the younger generations are embracing it with fervor."
Yes, I knew that. It's replacing Florida.
When was
You know how like our
Florida?
generation, yeah, Florida. Anything that starts with Florida man, any headline that starts with Florida man, it's going to be a stupid story. So now it's Ohio. Hmm. I knew
Well,
that.
well, I think this is kids are saying that's so Ohio or something.
Yeah, that's
Like,
what I'm saying. Uh-huh.
but but there's got to be at least seven other states you could choose instead of Ohio. Like, what about Indiana,
I
West
think
Virginia,
the
New Jersey?
Haitians did it. I think the Haitians did it.
You think it's the Haitians? It's
I
fun.
think the
It's the
Haitians.
it's the fact once they started eating cats, we were fair game for
If there's even a thing as Haitians, I don't know.
Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of the From the Shadows podcast. Until next time, never shy away from the darkness or what may be lurking in the shadows. We are out.
God only knows what's hiding